It's really interesting to hear Kevin say when he realised that he was going to have to stop, he was grieving for this alcohol.
Yes, well, I mean, people will then have a sense of loss because alcohol's become very much part of their lives. So they do go through a grieving process. But the key thing that most people don't realise is that, A, it's a disease, right? Secondly, that once you start drinking and you're drinking a lot for a long time, your brain has to adapt to it, and those adaptations are with you for the rest of your life. This is a chronic relapsing condition. I think you've heard Ed talk about it.
Former ITN newsreader,
and what you need to do is to constantly remind yourself that this risk exists, because your brain will play tricks with you, that it will say it's okay to drink on this occasion, remember the nice times, and what you need to do is to hear stories where people continue to remind you. And that's why going to Alcoholics Anonymous is so helpful to help people into recovery.
So extraordinary, isn't it? Because we talk about legalising, criminalising drugs, and yet alcohol is a drug, and it changes the way that your brain operates, and it causes death, and yet it's freely available.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a drug that causes so much harm. And I'm glad that you've actually highlighted this, because the services for people with alcohol within the NHS has gradually retracted. So it means that people carry on drinking, and the more you drink, the more damage you do to your body, the greater the cost to the country if that continues. So what you need to do is to get into a place where people will be encouraging you to stop, so that you don't go on to develop all the other pathology and, as you say, die.
I mean, it's tough for people, because once it becomes an addiction and it changes your brain chemistry, it is really hard to realise that, and it can often cause depression, and then one way of alleviating your depression is to drink more.
Yeah.
And then, and you're in a vicious circle, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, fantastic for Kevin and for Ed to be talking openly about this. It is a very common problem for people, and a really tough one to beat.
I mean, part of the problem really is that people know about Alcoholics Anonymous, but unfortunately they have certain prejudicial ideas, and I'm glad you showed that clip earlier on. And that's been very helpful, because it does demythologize it. You know, people think it's religious or that it's a cult, but it's not. It's a group of people coming together to help each other recover.